As we were entering the pandemic era and theaters were starting to slowly open up, there was a movie that really wasn't on my radar, and that is Bob Odenkirk's Nobody. That movie was a pleasant surprise, and seeing Bob Odenkirk in an action role, that was something that I wasn't sure if he was going to be able to pull off, and seeing how it was a bit of a John Wick knockoff, that also kind of had me worried, but it was one of the most fun that I had in the theater during the pandemic era. Was it one of the best films of all time? Absolutely not. But I still had fun with that movie for what it was. And seeing how it really didn't do all that well at the box office, I really wasn't sure if we were going to be getting another one. But thank God that we finally did. Nobody 2 follows Hutch Mansell and the family as they go on a family getaway, trying to get away from it all, trying to just hang out as a family. That is until things go a little bit sideways, and Hutch finds out that this place that he took his family has some shady things going on under the surface. The thing that made Nobody work was the high octane action. And that's really what I wanted this movie to do. I wanted to see how they were going to deliver the action, hopefully be able to have a lot of body counts and just have fun with the concept, because the movie really isn't relying too much on its story or story at all. It's mostly relying on the action, and Nobody 2 takes the best parts about the first film and just pumps it up with steroids. The action is a lot bigger and better in this movie than it was in the first film. I think the first one is a little bit more bloodier, but this one has a little bit more action. And when I say a little bit more action and the first one being a little bit more bloodier, is that while the action in the first film is clear cut, you can see everything going on, and there are a lot of bloody sequences in that film. In this film, they do ratchet up the action. However, sometimes the action sequences aren't filmed all that well. Here and there, you will get some shaky cam at times. There isn't as much blood as there was in the first film. While there are a lot of great action sequences, and the kills in this movie are a little bit more gruesomer than the first film. Sometimes the camera shies away from the action and just makes it a little bit more shaky cam, or sometimes make it an off-screen kill. But the action is ratcheted up to 11, and where the first film took a little bit more time getting to the action, because the first one was a little bit more of Hutch just leaving that life behind and not wanting to get back into that life until he has his home broken into, and then things start to go a little bit sideways for him. If you've seen the first film, then you know exactly where that film ended and where this one begins, and the action just begins from the moment the movie starts to the time that the film ends. And I like the fact that it didn't spend a lot of time getting to the action. It got to the action immediately, and that's what made this movie a little bit more enjoyable than the first film. The first film was a little bit more of a slow burn. This one is just gets you into the action and just lifts off. Bob Odenkirk comes back as Hutch Mitchell, and he is just still fantastic. With a lot of the action sequences that he has in this movie, they do a little bit more with his character where he's not around as much because he's taking on jobs and he's working a little bit late. He's not home in time for the family dinner. So that kind of sets him off into having this whole vacation with the family. So he's able to spend a little bit more time with them and leave his job behind. And that's one of the qualities that I really enjoyed about this movie, is the fact that you have that family dynamic in here that makes it a little bit more enjoyable until things start to go a little bit sideways. And I like the fact that they expanded on the role between him and RZA. It really wasn't something that I was expecting or something that I needed explored a little bit more, but how they handled those two characters I thought was fine. This movie is not going to be hindered on its story. So if you're somebody that is looking for an action film with story, you're probably going to come out disappointed, because this is a generic paint by numbers film. It's basically what the first film was. It's a generic story with a generic villain that is just tethered by the action, and that is what gets you through the story. But there are small little moments between the family that I really enjoyed and I thought were done well. And the way that they expanded not only just Rizza's role, but also Connie Nielsen's, where in the first film, she was just Hutch's wife. In this one, she gets to play a little bit more, as you see in the trailers. And I really enjoyed that family dynamics. I really enjoyed how everything just panned out between everybody. The thing that holds this movie back from being great or anything special is that the story really isn't all that great. It's a generic story with a generic villain, and while Sharon Stone is fine as the villain in this movie, it's really nothing to write home about. She's just there spewing some generic dialogue, trying to be evil, and she plays it very well. That is something that I thought was an improvement over the first film. While the first film had a generic villain, I really didn't care about him. This one, she pops in every now and then. She has a lot of fun with this role, and she's not the only one having fun with this role. Everybody in this movie, from Bob Odenkirk, RZA, to Christopher Lloyd, everybody knows exactly what makes the Nobody movies fun. It's just the action that is tethered to this generic story. If it didn't have the story, then it would just be another generic movie. I had fun with what it was. It's nothing great, it's not going to change your life or anything. It's just one that if you want to sit around for 90 minutes and just shut off your brain and have fun, this is going to be the movie for you, because the third act is balls to the wall fun, a lot of explosions, a lot of gunfire. That's what made it entertaining for me. Is this going to be one of my favorite films of the year? Absolutely not. But I put it on the same pedestal as the first film. It's a generic movie with fun action. That's the best way that I'm able to describe it. If you didn't enjoy the first film, you're not going to enjoy this film, because it's pretty much the same film, copy and paste over here, just in a different setting. But those are my thoughts on Nobody 2. Are you guys planning on checking this film out, or did you even enjoy the first film? Go ahead and drop your thoughts in the comments below. We'll catch you guys for the next video.